Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Today, in 1916, saw the death of Charles de Foucauld, commemorated today in the Church of England calendar, due to be made a saint by the Pope in the spring. He started off as a soldier and an explorer, but became a Christian. He said once he knew that God existed, he could do nothing other than give his life to him. And he did that, serving in North Africa as a missionary. What strikes me about his life is that it outwardly seems to be a failure, and yet he persevered, confident that he was doing what he ought to be doing. He wanted to start a little community around himself in his first days in North Africa, and wrote The Rule of the Little Brothers, an ascetic and a rule of poverty, really, a life of serving the community, but nobody came to join him. He then went to serve the Tuareg at the suggestion of the Bishop of the Sahara, and again hoping that they would be brought into the Christian faith, but not one of them was. He died tragically through an accident. The First World War came to the Sahara, and as part of the conflict there, a group tried to kidnap him, but the kidnapping went wrong and one of the assailants shot him dead. It was a life that just seemed not to get anywhere, and yet he's being made a saint. His failures were not going to stop him from persevering in doing the work that he felt that God was calling him to. And it seems to me that sometimes we find there's something, a big decision in our lives maybe, or perhaps a much smaller project that we take on, where we feel it's the right thing to do. And yet sometimes the success does not come, people do not support it, we don't find that it's turning out how we wanted it to turn out, and yet we feel it was right. And so we stick with it. It's hard, and yet it is worth persevering if we are confident that we're doing the right thing, because we won't feel that we're doing ourselves justice if we don't. There are times though when we need to consult, and I'm interested that Charles de Foucauld had a mentor, I suppose you'd call him in modern terms, Father Houvelin, who he consulted very shortly after deciding to become a Christian. And almost every decision that he made about his life, he did in consultation with this priest. And I think sometimes if we can find somebody who, maybe a member of the family, a friend, maybe somebody from the church, who we can consult about things, then we can just check that we are on the right path. It's good to check it with somebody, but often we find, even so, that there isn't the support that we would like, and yet we feel we need to keep going. And today, I suppose I want just to encourage you, if you're finding that that's the case, check, preferably with someone you can trust, someone you love, who loves you, that you're on the right path. But making sure, given that support, that you persevere in what you believe to be doing, what you believe to be right in what you're doing.